doesn't have.
Time they,
No, it's environment rec.
push it like right in front of my truck.
Oh,
The new one.
So that I had to chop that up.
You need.
right.
Is that the only thing? Okay, so I have a new copy on my desk.
Yes.
Am I set? Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd like to call to order the Borough Council meeting for February 23rd. Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any special presentations?
Do not.
And the next item is public hearing, application for intermunicipal transfer of a restaurant liquor license. I'm going to turn it over to our solicitor to take it from here.
Good evening. My name is Andrew Griffin. I'm an attorney at Curtin and Hefner. I represent the borough as their solicitor. We're now going to open the hearing on the application of Mag Foods Incorporated for the intermunicipal transfer of Pennsylvania restaurant liquor license number 2939 from Bristol Township to the property located in the borough at 50 North Main Street, Doylestown, PA 18902. The tax parcel ID number for that is 08-008-198. And note that the property is located in the O Office Zoning District. Just a general note for the public, this is sort of the first step for the applicant. After this hearing, if it's approved, the application then goes to the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board that then also makes a decision on the application. Before we get started, would you just introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Solicitor. My name is Ed McHugh. I am the attorney for MAG Enterprises and the Graffensteins who are here with me today, both Michael Graffenstein and Julie Graffenstein, and also their son, Michael, all here in support of the application.
Okay, so I would just note we had an issue with the court reporter prior to the hearing this evening. We weren't informed until 5:30, so we are having this electronically recorded. If it becomes necessary to reduce that recording to a transcript, we will do so. Just a couple procedural matters. I'll note that the board will enter a couple exhibits. Those exhibits are B1 will be the application of Mag Foods Incorporated and the corresponding letter from Mr. McHugh. B2 will be a copy of the public notice of this hearing. B3 is proof of publication. This hearing was published both on February 8th, 2026 and on February 15th, 2026. Exhibit B4 is a copy of the certificate of posting. This was posted at the borough on February 10th. Exhibit B5 is a copy of a resident notice letter that went out from the borough notifying neighboring residents. And then finally, the last exhibit, B6, is a copy of the resolution for adoption by council if approved. Mr. McHugh, I assume you have no objections to the board's or to the council's exhibits?
No objection.
Is there anybody in the public this evening that's looking to speak on this application? If so, would you just raise your hand? So I just know for the record that nobody from the public is present, so there's no need to kind of explain the party status rules. Could you just have all your witnesses raise your hand? I'll swear them in.
Sure. So Michael and Julie, will you raise your hands?
Do you both swear and affirm that the testimony you're going to give this evening is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Your case.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ed McHugh. I am the attorney for MAG Food, Inc., and the Graffensteins. Thank you, Mr. Solicitor, and thank you for hearing this case, especially in light of the weather tonight. With your permission, I'd like to proceed by way of attorney presentation, if that's okay with you, in lieu of the question and answer format, and maybe have Mr. Michael Graffenstein, who's seated to my left, just adopt the facts and provide any clarification at the end of my presentation.
Yeah, testimony by summary is fine.
Great, thank you, sir. So to just start out, so MAG Foods, Inc. has entered into a lease agreement for the premises at 50 North Main Street. The Graffensteins would like to bring a restaurant liquor license into that location. And the license they would like to bring into that location is from Bristol Township in order to bring the license into the township as outlined by Mr. Griffin. The receiving municipality has to hold a public hearing and pass a resolution permitting that license to come into the township. Just for a note, the Grafensteins do have another restaurant in the Commonwealth they operate. It's called Robert's Block. It operates in Glenside. You guys are welcome to look that up and explore the website and their menu and the other aspects of their operation if you wish. They intend to operate this location kind of similar to the way they operate Robert's Block. It may be a little bit more high end at the location here in the borough. To give you some, I'm going to go over just some facts about the proposed operation. By the way, I did, Mr. Solicitor, if I could just have what I distributed to council marked as B7, I guess, since you ended at B6, we can have that marked as B7. That contains.
So just for the record, we'll just mark that as applicant's Exhibit A1.
Fine, thank you, sir. So that is a site plan which contains four documents, which is really it gives you an idea of the layout of the proposed premises, and there's also a one-page document which is the menu for the current restaurant at Robert's Block. So there will be some physical improvements done to the interior of the premises at 50 North Main Street. The target date for which they wish to open is June of 2026. The total capacity for dining at the restaurant is going to be 120 people. There will be 50 seats at tables. There will be approximately 20 bar stools. There will be a bar inside the restaurant. The total square footage will be 5,331 square feet, which will include the serving areas, the kitchen, and the storage areas. The site plan gives you a pretty good idea of where the bar will be located, where the restaurant, or where the serving areas, kitchen, restrooms, entrance, exits, etc. It will be a full-service restaurant with the service of alcoholic beverages being offered as a complement to the meal. There will be dinner specials. There will be drink specials. The anticipated ratio of food versus alcoholic beverages will be 65% food, non-alcoholic beverages versus 35% alcoholic beverages. The restaurant hours of operation, they will be closed on Monday, Sunday, and Tuesday. They will open at 11 a.m. and close at 10 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday, they will open at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. And I believe they will offer brunch on Sundays on the weekends. There will be no dancing or live entertainment at the restaurant. There will be pre-recorded music and televisions. There's also a possibility of having acoustical music on Friday and Saturdays. That is uncertain at this time, but there's a possibility of that. There will be no takeout alcoholic beverages offered by the restaurant, either wine or takeout beer. Will there be takeout food?
There will be takeout food. Yes.
There will be takeout food. No smoking permitted at the premises. This will be a family-oriented restaurant and will be open for patrons of all ages. There will be reservations. There will be a hostess stand inside the restaurant. There'll be about 25 to 30 employees, both part-time and full-time, employed at the premises. The employees that are responsible for serving alcohol will be ramp trained. It's the same. The Grafensteins have their employees ramp trained at their other restaurant. The premises will also be ramp certified. RAMP is a acronym that stands for Responsible Alcohol Management Program. It's a program offered by the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board. It's mandatory for managers and owners. It's optional for servers. And however, the Grafensteins have their premises RAMP certified. There will also be transactional scanner devices at the location to prevent the service of alcoholic beverages to minors. There'll be multiple transactional scanner devices at the premises. It's the same system that they have in place at their other restaurant. There will be a surveillance camera system in place at the premises for interior, to cover the interior of the premises and also parts of the exterior of the premises as well. Mr. Solicitor, there was one license in safekeeping at the time this agreement was in the borough. At the time this agreement was placed, this license was placed under an agreement. Multiple attempts were made to contact the safekeeping representative. We finally did contact the safekeeping representative. The asking price for that license was drastically more than the fair market value of a standard Bucks County restaurant liquor license, close to 25% more than what the agreement, what the Gravensteins agreed to purchase the current license for. The Gravensteins made the decision to move on from that license and come to an agreement with the current seller. There are currently 2 licenses in safekeeping in the borough right now. But at the time, I think it was in November of 2025, there was only 1 license in safekeeping in the borough. That concludes my presentation relative to the facts of, and the description of the operation. I would ask that maybe Mr. Gravenstein can either, adopt those facts as true and make any clarifications that he wishes to do so.
No, I mean, those facts were true. I don't know if you said closed on Sundays. Sundays, we were going to be open on Sundays, brunch, and then into dinner on Sunday, close at 9 o'clock on Sundays.
Okay.
I
All
believe
right.
that was the
That's a
only-
clarification.
Closed on Mondays is correct.
Okay.
I think everything else was stated correctly.
So is there any change in the actual liquor license number that you're seeking to transfer in?
There'll be no change in the license number. There will be a change, there is a change in the lid number,
Okay.
So each transaction carries its own lid number. The license number does not change.
Okay. All right, and just for council, so you're aware, generally, under the existing state of the case law, what's under your consideration is whether there's an adverse impact on the health, welfare, peace, or morals of the immediate community. If there's not under the case law, typically these transactions would have to be approved. But if council has any questions, you're free to ask the applicant.
I actually do have a question about your proposed operation, because I've been in the building when it was under the previous licensee, or they weren't actually a full licensee, it was just a wine shop. And there's a room below the main floor. Do you plan on having table service there, or are you going to use that for special events, for example? Or
Yes, we are. We are going to have table service downstairs.
Okay,
And also a private event room for funeral lunches, business meetings, whatever else. If somebody wants a private room, that'll be available.
okay.
Showers, whatever, stuff like that, correct.
Oh, so
Like a baby shower on the weekends.
Oh, okay,
or-
not like, okay.
No.
Not these kinds of
No.
showers.
Baby showers,
Okay.
40th,
That would-
50th birthday parties, 60th birthday
Okay.
parties. We have a private room, Christmas parties,
Okay.
stuff like that.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I had a question. Above, in 50 North Main, I think there are 5 condos, very high-end condos. You mentioned TVs, possibly music. We weren't sure about that. What about the noise factor with residents living above the restaurant?
TV-wise, I think right now we're slated to have, 2 TVs. We're not going to be a sports pub. We want to be an upscale American restaurant, honestly. So I believe we're going to have 1 or 2 TVs. Acoustic music, we were thinking possibly for a Sunday brunch, maybe for a Friday happy hour, just acoustic music. We realized with our lease, we also had to be cognizant of the tenants upstairs. So that's definitely
Thank you.
going to be
Thank
taken
you.
care of.
I was thinking of the
No, we-
sports bar that's near
No,
the
we wanna
train
be good-
station that's
No,
lined
exactly.
with TVs.
We want to be good neighbors to the people upstairs as well, so
Thank you.
that's understood.
Okay. And then how many seats were in the winery for, not the bar, but how many tables and seats did they have previously?
Yeah, what was the occupancy of, is the
I think it was very similar to what we are. one of the things we are doing is we are making the bar bigger. I think their bar now might be 12 people, 14 people. We are making a larger bar that's now going to have 20 seats at the bar. And we want to move the bar, kind of make it a longer bar area. Besides that, it's probably very similar table-wise, maybe even less. I mean, we're not looking to, we want it to be more of a comfortable dining than some, like if you come in the Roberts Block, our other restaurant now, we have tables upon tables upon tables. It's very high volume. We want to have a little more of a fine dining environment, so tables aren't on top of the other tables. So that's kind of what we're looking to do. With the bar area, we're going to have high top tables as on there around the bar, and then the tables are going to be more spread out in the dining rooms.
Thank you.
I can speak to that as well, too. I kind of looked at the the layout from before. In the one dining area, they had slated for 48 hours, 48 seats upstairs, 30 seats downstairs, and they had another 30 seats in their bar area, not including the bar. So it's pretty close. Actually, that's 108 plus the bar, so it's pretty close to what they had. Really can't fit much more in there.
Right.
Yeah, we just always like to be cognizant because there is not just above, but housing right there and parking and all that. So we just don't want to be.
That's what they had when they were there.
Okay.
And if it's for the employee, how many employees did you say?
I think between full and part-time employees, 25 to 30 employees
And do you,
total. I mean, on a typical work shift, I would probably, for 12 employees probably. In this business, it's kind of, you need 25 or 30 to make it run because
Right.
some only work 2-3 days a week, bartenders and
Exactly.
bussers and hostesses. It's kind of just I mean, you have your full-time cog and then the rest are just moving
Right.
pieces, so.
we just want to be cognizant of parking for the employees too.
Oh, understood.
I know because Shule Avenue is very residential. It's dense with housing. I know our residents can come and complain if their street is filled up and they can't get a parking spot. So as a business owner, if you tell your employees
I will
some
make note of
ideas
that.
of where they can park.
I will definitely make note of that. What was that street again? So I can make sure to tell
Well,
them.
you're on Shule.
Just to clarify, that is residential permit
That's
parking.
right, yeah,
Oh, it is.
Okay.
And that's
So it-
partly because we had people parking.
So
They
that's,
went to
Oh,
work
it
for
already
12
is
hours and had their.
that's essentially been
understood.
taken care of, so.
Yeah.
You might want to warn them, but
Understood. Yeah,
but we'll do the rest in terms.
Understood. I'm sure you will.
So it's a little tight, so, and that's something we always like to be cognizant of too, that our, because we'll hear about it if.
Definitely.
Have you had any discussions with the fire company?
We have not yet, no.
Okay.
We're still on that preliminary stages of getting this taken care of and then starting to do some work in there and meeting people and taking care of what we need to do in the right way. So what we have to do.
That relationship will be an important one for
Yes,
your,
it will.
for your mental
I'm sure it will.
well-being.
usually is, yes.
And just for the community, it's important that you guys are good neighbors to each other.
Yeah, we look forward to that, definitely. I mean, definitely have community ties. That's what we have 2 other restaurants. We have a restaurant and bar that has a liquor license. We also have a diner in Abington, which we've had for 28 years in Abington. So we've built strong ties in our community, definitely in both places.
Well, Doylestown has become a great restaurant town.
Doylestown's a great
It was
town.
always sleepy
We
as
love
a restaurant town decades ago, but it's very vibrant.
This is a great area. Our son Michael lives right on State Street, so we love this. I love this area. It's great.
Any other questions? All right, with that, the matter is now ripe for the council's consideration. This will require us to adopt an ordinance if approved. So if council so inclined, we could have,
Resolution, Andrew? It's a resolution?
that's correct, there will be a
You said
resolution.
ordinance.
Sorry, resolution. If council is so inclined, they could make a motion to approve the resolution for the intermunicipal liquor license transfer application of Mag Foods Incorporated to permit the transfer of Pennsylvania liquor license number R2939 from Bristol Township to the property in the borough located at 50 North Main Street.
I'll make that resolution. I'll make a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll second.
Any other questions from any members of council?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We haven't voted yet, hold off. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you now.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We look forward to being here. Thank you.
Good luck with your opening.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, have a good evening.
Approval of minutes, no, Joe.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the January 26th council meeting. Do I have a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Brown. Any questions or comments from any members of council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from any members of the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Mayor, do you have anything for us tonight?
Yes, I do. Tonight is a night of thank yous. First, I want to extend sincere thanks to our Public Works team. They just worked through the night to clear our streets during this snowstorm and spent weeks cleaning and hauling snow from the previous storm. This has been an unusually harsh winter. Dave ensured we had enough salt to keep our roads safe by arranging a special mission for his team to secure additional supplies when shipments could not travel up the Delaware River because it was frozen. While this winter has been rougher than usual, last year brought record-breaking temperatures. Through extreme summer heat, our Public Works team has repaired streets, maintained parks, and kept our borough running. They do difficult work with professionalism and teamwork, and we are grateful for their dedication. I also want to thank our council's Public Safety Committee, our solicitor Andrew Griffin, and John and Karen for their thoughtful work on tonight's consideration of an ordinance restricting the sale of kratom and hemp-derived cannabinoid products. These products present real risk of dependence and addiction, especially among our youth. Thank you for your diligence, your careful review, and for listening to the voices of our residents as you address this important public issue. And thank you, everyone, for your service and commitment to keeping our community safe. And that is the end of my report.
That's it?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Public Safety, Mr. Brown, what do you have for us tonight?
We've got quite an agenda tonight for public safety, Mr. President. The first item is the amendment to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Agreement establishing the Central Bucks Regional Police Department. Attached, please find the above referenced agreement, which has already been approved by Chalfont and New Britain boroughs. The amendment makes only minor changes to the current agreement, including voting procedures, remote meeting participation, acquisition of real estate, and the budget calendar, along with correcting some section numbering errors. The borough solicitor has reviewed the amendment and has no concerns. The Public Safety Committee is recommending the adoption of the amendment. If council wishes to follow the committee's recommendation, it may do so by motion, and I so move.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Kinney. Any questions or comments from any members of council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from any members of the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, the next item is the authorization to advertise ordinance raising the 15-minute limit parking fine. Attached, please find the above referenced ordinance, which raises the fine for exceeding the 15-minute parking space limit from $10 to $50. The increase is necessary to provide a legitimate deterrent and to align the fine with other similar parking fines. The Public Safety Committee is recommending that council authorize the advertising of the attached ordinance. If council wishes to follow the committee's recommendation, it may do so by motion, and I so move.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Pumpkin. Any questions or comments from any members of council?
Just a question for Mr. Brown, just for the record. How, the 15-minute fine, how old was that before this resolution? Do you know how many years we've been holding that?
That was 1993, I think.
Yeah, it's been, that's the original fine from when those spaces were
1993.
created, I believe was in the 1990s.
Okay. So there's a little bit of catching up to do.
And it now brings it in line with the fine for the metered parking spaces.
Great. And that I understood. I just was curious about how long it had been the prior level. Thank you.
Because those spaces were created kind of later, it had its own section, and so when the process has taken place a couple of times of increasing the fines over the last 25 years, that's kind of been orphaned. Parking.
Thank you.
Our Director of Parking Operations noticed that discrepancy, and the parking staff was informed us that there are some folks who are keenly aware that the fine is a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. So there are some folks who are not deterred right now, who will be deterred after this is.
I have a question. Is that a frequently violated situation?
Less than 40 times last year.
Really? Okay.
I will tell you that our protocol is to identify the cars in the space, in the free 15-minute spaces, and not issue a ticket for at least a half an hour.
Any other questions from any members of council? Hearing none. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The third item on the agenda is the authorization to advertise ordinance restricting the sale of kratom and Delta H THC. Attached, please find the above referenced ordinance. The ordinance restricts the sale of kratom and Delta H THC to persons under 21 years of age and prohibits sales within 1,000 feet of schools and playgrounds. The Public Safety Committee is recommending that council authorize the advertising of this ordinance. If council wishes to follow the committee's recommendation, it may do so by motion, and I so move.
Second. We have a second by Mr. O'Hanlon. Any questions or comments from any members of council?
I just want to echo, I apologize, I want to echo the mayor's comments from earlier about the great work that staff did and our solicitor did putting this language together. You know, this is it's really an acutely important issue for this community and other communities, and I think that the work that they've done here is really commendable, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
I just wanted to thank we had a member of the public come to a zoning and hearing committee meeting and bring this to our attention. And luckily, we happened to have the solicitor present at that meeting by happenstance. And this person had been in recovery and was expressing some real concerns over how dangerous and unregulated this substance is. And honestly, I can safely say I think none of us knew about it. So we're really grateful that someone from the public came in and brought it to us. So thank you to that person who isn't here, but.
Any other comments or questions? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
There's a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the Delta 8, that is just the more details in the actual ordinance regarding hemp products, or is it specific to Delta 8?
There are other extracts and stimulants listed as examples, so it is expanded beyond that.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item is the fire company report. The fire company had 30 responses in the month of January, including their extended full-time standby during that last storm, and they are just wrapping up their standby from this storm. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Public Works and Administration, Mr. Kinney, do you have anything for us tonight?
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee did not meet last month, but the Public Works report is in your packet and for everybody's review. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Mr. Bell isn't here tonight, but we do have the farmer's market license agreement. Is somebody prepared to appear out there?
Yeah, I'll do it if you want. Okay.
Okay.
Attached, please find the above referenced agreement, which provides for the Saturday morning farmers market on Hamilton Street by the Bucks County Foodshed Alliance. All provisions of the agreement are unchanged from previous years. The Community and Governmental Affairs Committee has reviewed the agreement and is recommending its approval. If council wishes to follow the recommendation, it can do so by motion, and I so move.
Second. We have a second by Mr. O'Hanlon. Any questions or comments from any members of the committee?
I'll make a comment that I'm happy it's staying where it is.
I think a lot of people will join you in that.
40%, 60%.
Any other questions or comments? Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
April 18th is opening day.
There you go.
You talking baseball or the farmer's market?
Farmers market.
Knowing you, I wasn't sure which way you would be. Ms. Jarrett, do you have anything for us tonight? Zoning and planning.
Yes, we did meet this month, of course. First, we have the building and zoning, the report from the zoning hearing board. I might ask Ms. Highland to offer some clarification on that for us. Give us the rundown.
Thank you, Ms. Jarrett.
Thank you.
Zoning Hearing Board met last Thursday. They heard 4 applications. The first was for the American Legion. They were requesting zoning relief to allow for an internally illuminated sign within a residential district. The second application was for 198 Shule Avenue. The property owner is proposing a second-story addition that would also act as a covered porch. The third application is for 679 North Chubb Drive. The applicant is proposing an addition to the garage with second-floor living space above. And then finally, 23 East Hill Drive, Rocco Mercury was requesting zoning relief to extend a previously granted variance for a home addition. All four applications were approved.
Thank you very much, Ms. Highland. Next, I have the HARB recommendations. The HARB met this past month, obviously, and issued certificates of appropriateness with the following recommendations. The sign application for 95 North Broad Street. The HARB recommended that the application for a certificate of appropriateness be accepted as submitted, subject to the condition that the applicant add vegetation around the signposts. Building applications 20 and 20 to 22 East Oakland Avenue for windows. The HARB recommended that the application for a certificate of appropriateness be accepted as submitted. 112 Mary Street. HARB recommended that the application for a certificate of appropriateness be accepted as submitted, or if the applicant wishes that the rear addition roof of the proposal be changed to match the roof line of the front existing part of the home. 150 East State Street, HARB recommended that the application for a certificate of appropriateness be accepted as submitted with the repair of the third floor cedar and addition of a drip-capped water table board at the top of the second floor. Hardy siding should be smooth with the same reveal as the existing cedar. The Zoning and Planning Committee recommends that the council approve the applications in accordance with HARB's recommendation, and if council is in agreement, it may do so by motion, and I so move.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Popkin, I think it was.
Yes.
Any questions or comments from any members of the council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from any members of the public? Hearing none. I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
In addition to the code enforcement and building inspection reports in the packet, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Environment and Rec, Ms. Wyckoff, it's all yours.
Thank you. Just 2 items tonight. In your packets, you'll find a proposal outlining the expansion plan for the popular Concerts in the Commons series for May 2026. The Environment and Recreation Committee reviewed this item at its February 5th meeting and is recommending approval. If council wishes to follow the recommendation of the committee, it can do so by motion, and I so move.
Second. We have a second by I think it was Mr. O'Hanlon. Oh, O'Hanlon, okay. Any questions or comments from any members of council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from any members of the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Secondly, in your packets, you'll find lease agreements for the use of Veterans Memorial, Burpee, and William Neese Parks for Doylestown Athletic Association and Central Bucks Softball. The Environment and Recreation Committee reviewed this item at its February 5th meeting and is recommending approval. If council wishes to follow the recommendation of the committee, it can do so by motion, and I so move.
Second. We have a second by Mr. O'Hanlon. Any questions or comments from any members of council?
Were there any changes in the agreement or pricing compared to the previous one, Liz?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Were there any changes in pricing or usage in this?
No, I'll give you a little summary. The agreement for the use of all the baseball and softball fields dated back to the 1970s. It had over time really no longer bore any resemblance to how we actually interacted with the leagues and vis-a-vis cost of repairs, maintenance, things of that nature. And so we undertook a thorough re-review. There's also, softball has now been taken over by a new organization. It's no longer run directly by DAA. So DAA now runs baseball, which is out of Maplewood Park, and a new entity, which is an arrangement between the old DAA softball and Plumstead softball, which is called Central Bucks Softball, is going to take over softball in the community, and those fields are at Neese and at Burpee. The agreements are essentially, or before, they are rent-free to the youth organizations. The borough provides basic maintenance and field preparation. The leagues themselves do the final preparation for games, lining the fields, things of that nature, providing the bases. Capital costs to improve the fields, whether it's sheds or dugouts or new fencing, anything of that nature, is the responsibility of the leagues themselves with the approval of the borough. So in exchange for the free leases, the leagues take on the responsibility to maintain and improve, if desired, the capital property that's out there. So
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
We have
There's a resolution about
resolution.
that is being tabled.
That's being tabled.
We'll bring it back to you in March. There's been a
Okay. Water utility, Mr. Laverne, you have anything for us?
Yes, the committee did meet on February 10th. We have no actionable items this month, but we did have a extended discussion in conjunction with the monthly operations report that we get from Jerry Matozo, the Director of Operations. And we were talking about all the recent water repairs, water system repairs, water main breaks. Coincidentally, there was two on my block on Decatur Street right prior to that meeting. And so we got to asking Jeremy to give us, if he could give us information on, like a summary of the amount of time spent specifically on water main break repairs. And he did that quickly and kind. So rather than paraphrasing it, I'm just going to read a short email that he sent me with this information because I think it's important for council to know this. He starts off by saying, as requested below is a summary of time spent specifically on water main break repairs. From January 13th through February 10th, we have logged approximately 60 labor hours dedicated solely to water main repairs. with a standard 4-person crew assigned to each repair, excluding myself. This equates to roughly 240 total man-hours. These repairs have been performed in addition to ongoing snow removal operations, so the crew has been operating at a very high tempo. And I can attest to that because the water main breaks I told you about on Decatur Street was a Saturday. It was the day after the crews had been out 2 weeks straight from the first blizzard that we had. So they had to be called, four guys had to be called in for overtime on that, so it was greatly appreciated. So Jeremy's email goes on to say, and this is, I think, very important and doesn't get done often enough, quote, if you are planning to recognize staff, and I do, I would strongly recommend highlighting Amy Kramer, our water department clerk. During the recent period of extreme cold, Amy proactively identified several vacant properties experiencing burst pipes. Her diligence enabled us to promptly notify property owners and significantly reduce potential property damage. And so thank you, Amy, for your diligence on that. And so then one more matter related to what I just said about Amy identifying these properties. Jeremy goes on to say, her efforts also underscore the value of the metering upgrades implemented over the past few years. The enhanced data visibly provided by our modern meters and reading devices allows us to detect abnormal consumption patterns quickly and respond before issues escalate. Thank you, Jeremy. So I wanted to recognize all those efforts of the water department. And of course, when there's a water main break, it's not just the water department, it's also public works. So great appreciation for all the work they've done over this past cold season. And I think that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Larone. Ms. Popkin, Finance and Pension.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance and Pension did meet this month. We have one action item, which is our monthly finance report that's in the packet. And I would like to make a motion to approve the $974,075.08 to be paid.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Jarrett. Any questions or comments from any members of council? Hearing none, any questions or comments from any members of the public? Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. I have a personnel report. On January 9th and February 3rd of this year, the Personnel Committee met to interview candidates to fill vacancies on various borough boards. At the conclusion of those interviews and upon discussion, the Personnel Committee is recommending the following appointments. On EAC, the Environmental Advisory Board, or John Thomas for a partial term running from February of 2026 to 12/31 of 2027. Also on the Environmental Advisory Board, Emmett Jenkins Long, a full 3-year term from 2/26 to 12/31/2028. The Fanny Chapman Pool Board, Alan Braverman for a full 3-year term running February of 2026 to December 31st of 2028. And also Sarah Yakubik for a full 3-year term from February 2026 to 12/31/2028. On the Historical and Architectural Review Board, Seth Weiner for a full 4-year term from February of 2026 to 12/31 of 2029. And on the Planning Commission, Charles Corey for a full 4-year term from February of 2026 to 12/31 of 2029. Student board members, we have on the Fanny Chapman Pool Board, we have Aubrey Doolett Brady from May of 2026 to April of 2027. And on the Historical and Architectural Review Board, we have Jack Moore from May 2026 to April of 2027. And as the junior council person for next year, we have Madeline Moore from September of 2026 to May of 2027. If council wishes to follow the Personnel Committee's recommendation as stated above, it may do so by motion, and I so move.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Brown. Any questions or comments from any members of council? Hearing none. Any questions or comments from any members of the public? Hearing none. I'd like to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Professionals report. Mr. Doherty, do you have anything for us?
Thank you. I have no report tonight.
Solicitor's report, other than what you did earlier.
Yeah, no report this evening, thank you.
Central Bucks Regional Police Department, Chief.
No report tonight, thank you.
President's report, I would like to just add to the comments that were made complimenting the work that our Public Works Department did. And in addition to that, the work that was done with all the water repairs. But also, I found out that while our guys were out plowing, they were fed by Doylestown Hospital. So I'd like to make mention of that, just to thank them for their efforts. Even though they're not in the borough, they are close by, and we do rely on them. So that concludes my report. Any items of old business? We have one item of new business on the agenda, the consideration of Resolution 2026-3 authorizing real estate tax collector to appoint a deputy real estate tax collector. Let me pull it up here.
There is a resolution in everyone's packet, Resolution 2026-3. Michelle, the tax collector, is here. If anyone has any questions. The resolution is to appoint Nicole Persetti, who has been the deputy real estate tax collector. You did appoint her, I think, last time around. Just to clarify, the deputy tax collector only acts if Michelle is incapacitated. She looks hale and hearty there, so we may never have to. But Nicole Persetti would be a heartbeat away. And so if council wants to honor Michelle's request and appoint Ms. Persetti, it can do so by a motion to adopt resolution number 2026-3.
I'll
I
make
so
that.
move.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Jack.
Go ahead. No,
I'll make the motion as stated by our.
do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Wyckoff. Any questions or comments from any members of council?
Yes, I have a couple questions. Is this something new? I don't recall ever hearing about this before.
We did do this 2 years ago, but maybe Michelle can weigh in.
Okay, I must have blocked that out.
I just wanted to add, it's actually required by tax collection law.
Yeah.
And so I've had a deputy tax collector since I began, because we have to.
Okay.
So,
All right,
and it's also a good practice to have someone on standby in case something should happen.
I guess I just don't recall that. Thank you.
We hope you're never incapacitated.
I hope not.
Michelle, I had a quick question. How is the deputy paid? So I
That's a good
assume
question, because it is not written into law at all.
Okay.
So that's a gray area. And I would imagine I would be the one that would be paying the deputy or my estate. No, because if I were to pass, actually, that the borough would need to reappoint someone. This is just if I'm incapacitated. So that would be, I would be the one that would be paying.
So what if you go on vacation? Let's say you're away for 2 weeks. Does the deputy have to step in?
Oh,
Or not?
absolutely not. I do go on vacation.
I hope so.
And I bring my laptop with me, and I schedule it at
Okay.
times when collections are light.
Got it. But John, how do we pay how is the deputy paid?
You set the salary for the tax collector by
Same
resolution or
salary,
ordinance?
right?
I think it's by resolution.
by resolution, and you did so for the next. You said
We
it for
just-
Right, so
You
it
just
would,
said it
did
for the
that.
next term. You just did it.
But the deputy would be paid the same rate as what you're getting. Is that correct?
right. I mean, I would, yes, out of,
Prorated.
depending on the scope and length of time.
What I can say is council by resolution has agreed to pay a certain salary to the tax collector. That can't change, that can't go to
No, I
someone else. That would be an arrangement.
Right, it would be on me.
I'm not sure how
to-
exactly
To
that
pay
would
the
happen.
tax, to pay my deputy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
But the amount you pay for tax collection services to the tax collector is set.
No, I knew that, but I didn't know if the deputy was paid a different amount.
Okay, and this isn't really for Michelle, maybe it is, because I had a similar question to Ms. Popkin's question. So, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but would you recommend that the council consider a resolution where, in the event that you're incapacitated, let's say you're incapacitated, and God knows, nobody's wishing that on you, but if you are incapacitated for a week or a month, does that mean that, since you said you pay the backup person, does that mean you don't get paid? How does that work?
Yeah, no, I would not get, that would come out of what I get
Okay.
paid. So yes, I would not.
So it would
be
come out of
getting
your compensation, and it would just be a transfer of whatever
Right.
amounts of money that is. Okay, okay. All right, thank you, Michelle.
Any other questions on that? Any questions from the public? Hearing none?
Member of the public.
If you have any questions, Jim?
I'm sorry.
The member of the public.
Hearing none, I'd like to call a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any other items of new business?
I have one, Mr. President. I just wanted to take a moment here to talk about what happened in Quakertown over on Friday. So I just wanted to take a moment to stand in solidarity with the kids who were arrested this weekend up in Quakertown while they were exercising their First Amendment rights, and they were frankly standing together. As of right now, these kids are still being held in custody, and it's my sincerest hope that justice is served and that the rights of these kids are protected. History has its eyes on us right now, and standing up to injustice is vital. History has also always been changed and shaped by young people, so I encourage folks to listen and engage rather than antagonize and attack. As of right now, I think an investigation by the DA appears to be underway, so I hope to see these kids released as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Hanlon. Any other items of new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I wanted to report on the recent DART meeting that was this past Friday. As you may recall, the DART committee meets every quarter, and the mayor and I are both representatives from the borough on that committee. So one thing that is new this year is that Lou White, who most of you, if not all of you know, is the chairman of the committee. And he and Jim Raymond, the CEO of Bucks County Transport that runs the DART, put together a one-page highlights of 2025. So I'm going to send this to everybody on council so that you can get a better feel for all the stuff, the great stuff that DART does, at least from this past year. And each quarter, the DART people, the BCT people give us an update on the ridership. The ridership situation is really good according to this chart. I can forward that along to you. They get into the weeds on the details of how many people ride each part of the DART. And they have a list of special events that the DART serviced during each year and keep track of that. And the numbers are very impressive. And so one of the things that we discussed, and I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, when we were chatting earlier, I hadn't looked at my notes. We did talk about each of the municipalities following up with letters to our legislators about the continuing funding, because funding comes from the state, county, and each municipality for the DART. So we need to do that. I believe BCT is going to put a letter together for the municipalities. The next meeting of the DART will be Friday, May 15th, right here in Borough Hall in our council conference room, if anybody would like to attend. So any questions on the DART? Noni and I are going to follow up directly with Tim Brennan about the appropriations moving forward, because I think June is the time
Yes,
that, it's a fiscal year, right?
my understanding.
Okay. All right, that's the end of my report. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other items of new business? I don't think anybody signed up for public comment. We do not have any executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Kinney. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.